Now comes the exact part of how am I going to control my genie. Okay, so when I say genie, you have to understand that it is a other name that I give for this microcontroller, Atmega 328 microcontroller. So my job as a designer is to control this fellow, is to command this fellow and control this fellow. So when I want to control this fellow, two things I always remember. One, he is very powerful. He can do any job in the world. He is capable of doing any job in the world. Second thing that I will remember is he is not smart. Two things are very contradicting. He is very powerful, meaning he is capable of completing any complex task, but he is not smart, meaning even for doing simple things, you have to explain him in a detailed fashion. So when you are commanding a genie, there are five important concepts that you have to understand. First number one, the genie speaks binary language. He know to tell you yes or no, either a one or a zero. Nothing other than that. He speaks binary language. Number two, as I told you in the clear slide, in the previous slide, he expects very clear commands. Very clear commands means the entire operations you have to break into several instructions and then you have to give. Don't give one line commands. Second thing, these are very powerful in remembering information. They can remember data. Okay. Genie has a powerful memory here, so they can remember information. Let, for example, here on the left hand side, I have three apples here, and I asked the genie to remember the information of these three apples in the following way. Hey, genie, you remember that there are three apples on the table. So this is the information that I will tell the fellow to remember. So what is very important here is the number three because that defines the number of apples on the table. When I ask a genie to remember some information, you have to give a name for that information. Only then the genie will remember that. The name that you assign for the genie to remember certain thing is called a variable. Is called a variable. What is a variable? Variable is a name that I assign for certain information which I want the genie to remember. Say, for example, I am giving a name called apple count. Apple count. And I assign that apple count value to be 3. So apple count is the name of the variable and it is having a value of 3. Okay. This 3, your high school mathematics should tell you that it is a round number. It is not a fractional number, it is a round number. So if you want the genie to remember such round numbers, then the type of the variable is an integer variable. So integer, name of the variable, and you assign that variable equal to 3. So if you give this instruction, what the genie will do? The genie will remember this 3. But how it will remember? It will remember this 3 associated with this name, namely apple count. Later on, when you want this information back, how will you call the genie? Hey, genie, give me the value of apple count. Then the genie will return, boss, apple count is 3. That is how you will return. So if you want the genie to remember something, you always associated that something with a name. Later on, you retrieve that information using that name. Similarly, I want the genie to remember the overall weight of these 3 apples. Okay? I give a different name here. Apple weight equal to 342.76 grams. 342.76 grams is the total weight of these three apples, let us say. Now, in this case, it is a fractional number. Your high school mathematics should tell you that if anything is fractional in nature, if I going to have a decimal point here, it is not a round number. So if you want the genie to remember these fractional values, then what is the type of the variable that you should assign? That is called a floating point number or a float. So if you assign float followed by a name, you can use fractional numbers to that particular name which the genie can remember. Now, if you put this value and ask the genie to remember, later on you can ask the genie, hey genie, what is apple weight? The genie will return back, boss, apple weight is 342.76. Going to the third one, if there is something which is very important in giving instructions to the genie, it is the decision making thing. How you help that genie to take decision making. Okay, so the famous method which is used for decision making process in programming languages, or the way in which you help the genie to take decision making, is called an if statement. If statement. Okay, what is an if statement tells the genie? The syntax of the if statement is, if some condition is true, do certain things. This is a simple if statement. If a condition is true, do something. What if the condition is false? Don't do anything at all. Okay, you do something only when a condition is true. That is one form of if. There is also another form of if, wherein if a condition is true, do this. If the condition fails, else, do something else. This is another kind of if. In this case, if the condition is true, the block of statements which are here will get executed. These are true block. If the condition fails, the block of statements which are below are executed. This is called false block. This is called if else statement, which is again a type of if constraint. In the first case, if the condition is true only, you do this. What if the condition is false? Don't do anything at all. This is first type. In the second type, if the condition is true, you do this. If the condition is false, do this. The other way of telling the same thing is, if the condition is true, do this, else do this. Else means what? If it is not true, else means it is false only. Automatically the condition comes in. There is also another version of if statement, wherein you give multiple conditions. If condition 1 is true, do this block of statements. Else if condition 2 is true, do this block of statements. Else if condition 3 is true, do this block of statements. If all this condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, all the 3 fails, finally do something else. This is another type of if statement. All the 3 are same if statements with different flavors. You have to use the appropriate type depending upon your requirement. The fourth part that we are going to see today is the looping part. Looping or loops or looping means you want to repeat certain things again and again. Let us say you have 100 apples here. You are telling the genie to do an operation of see the code of this particular apple, and if the code of the apple is S for Shimla, so if the apple is a Shimla apple, then you put that apple in a separate box, a blue box. If the code of the apple is not Shimla apple, you don't do anything. You keep the apple only in the table itself. So this is an operation that you want the genie to repeat for all the 100 apples in the table. So how do you instruct the genie to perform a specific operation repeatedly again and again over and over for fixed number of times? So we have two versions of looping. One is called a for loop. The other one is called a while loop. Okay. First one is called a for loop. The second one is called while loop. What is the syntax of a for loop? For I is equal to 0. I just give you an instruction. Let us say I have 100 apples. I want the genie to check the code of the apple. If the code of the apple is equal to S for Shimla apple, then I want the genie will keep track of a count in order to know how many Shimla apples are there, let us say. For I is equal to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus, then body of the for loop. So I put a condition here. If code of the apple is equal to Shimla apple, then count equal to count plus 1. So initially count is 0 and the count will get incremented whenever the code of the apple is equal to S. So this is a simple example. So if you see this for loop, there are three important components in the for loop. First one is called initialization component. Second one is called a condition statement. The third one is called the increment section. This block is called the body of the for loop. The second version of looping statement is called while loop. What is the syntax of while loop? While the condition of the while loop, do whatever you want here. This block of source code will get executed only when the condition is true. When the condition is true, this block of source code will get executed. If the condition is false, then it will come out of the for loop. Say for example, while the code of the apple, as long as it is equal to Shimla, do certain things. The moment the code of the apple is not equal to Shimla, then it will come out of the for loop. So this is called while loop. These are the two variants of looping. Looping means doing certain things again and again repeatedly. The last part of discussion is the function. What is a function? Function is also known as subprogram. Subprogram means what? A part of a big program. Okay, part of a big program. Let us take a simple task here. You are telling the genie to take this apple. If the color of the apple is, or if the code of the apple is Shimla apple, then you put that apple here in the pink box. If code of the apple is equal to Shimla, put it in the pink box. Else, if the code is something else, put it in the blue box. So this pink box will consist of only Shimla apples. Okay, so this part you wanted to repeat it for daily 10 times or 100 times or 20 times again and again. You wanted to reuse it, the same code again and again. then probably it is better that you block that segment of code in the form of a function. Function means it is a part of a main program that I give a different name and then call that function whenever it is needed. Say, for example, I group this function like this. Name of the function is void. Void means it returns nothing. Check code. Then I put whatever the code checking I want to do within this. So the moment I do this, this is called a function. So every time I want that function to be called, I can use this function name and then I call this function and use it. A function has three different parts. First part is called function prototyping. Next one is function definition, defining the function. Third one is calling the function. Let us say I want the Genie to create a delay. We already have a delay function, but that is a very precise way of delay. The other crude way of creating a delay function is making the Genie to loop for fixed number of times without doing any job. Say, for example, if I put a for loop, I is equal to 0, I less than 10,000, I plus plus, I don't put anything in the for loop. This is an empty for loop. So what am I trying to do here? I am making the Genie to loop 10,000 times without doing anything here. So what the Genie would have done essentially, the Genie would have wasted time. So I am creating a small, this is called a do nothing for loop. I am making the Genie to loops for 10,000 cycles without doing anything. So I put that in the form of a function, void delay, and within this I put this code. This is a function. It's called defining the function. Okay. What is function calling means? How do you call this function in the main program? Void main. So whenever I call this delay function, I would typically call that by using delay. So if you issue this statement, name of the function is automatically called. So this is called function calling. This is function calling. This is function definition. What is function prototyping means? Function prototyping means before you start the program, you define what is the syntax of this particular delay program. Void delay. Not is the semicolon. So what is the structure of this delay program? You define upfront. That is called function prototyping.